Chosen one. The moment has arrived, and it's unfolding exactly the way divine justice intended. Someone is losing their mind in a lawyer's office right now, because the paperwork for an estate and life savings just got exposed as fraudulent, and they never saw it coming. The lies they rehearsed aren't landing. And then the real bomb drops. There's another will, a legitimate one, properly filed, legally sealed, spiritually protected, and chosen one. Your name is the only one that matters on it. The person melting down in that office has been living a lie. This person volunteered to be the caregiver. This person made a huge production of the sacrifice. This person told everyone how hard it was, how much was given up, how noble the actions were. And behind closed doors, this person was stealing. The watch your grandparents wore every day of their lives, gone, sold to some pawn shop for cash. The pearl earrings cherished for decades, made of real freshwater pearls, disappeared, probably sitting in someone else's jewelry box right now, or already liquidated. But the theft did not stop at heirlooms. The theft went deeper. This person had access to bank accounts. This person wrote checks for personal use. This person transferred funds. This person siphoned money month after month. And here is the really bold part. This person used that stolen money to start businesses, to invest in property, to fund a lifestyle never earned. This person literally built an empire on your grandparents' life savings, while those same grandparents were being neglected and mistreated in their own home. This was not just one person working alone. This was a family operation. One entire side of your bloodline coordinated this scheme. Meetings happened. Division of expected assets occurred. Agreements were made to stay quiet about each theft. The scheme was protected collectively. And when your grandparents needed actual care, actual compassion, actual love, these people could not be bothered. The focus was too consumed with planning what to do with money that was not theirs yet. But your grandparents documented everything. Every missing item, every unauthorized withdrawal, every piece of jewelry that walked out the door. Records were kept, photos were taken. Trusted friends were told what existed and where things should be. Because your grandparents knew that one day someone would have to account for all of it. And that day is today, right now, in that office where fraud is being exposed and thieves are being backed into corners with no way out except confession or perjury. Either way, everything is lost. These people did not just rely on theft and forgery. The approach went spiritual. Groups gathered and performed rituals. Your name was chanted. Work was done with fire and heat, and elements that had no business being touched. Entities were called on, and agreements were made with forces that do not operate in your best interest. Attempts were made to bind your progress. Attempts were made to block your blessings. Attempts were made to dim the light that has always made certain people uncomfortable about you. Think about what that means. Multiple people working together in darkness were required to try to stop one person walking in light. An entire operation was needed. A conspiracy. Group energy focused on keeping you down. And chosen one. You know what that tells me. You are dangerous to kingdoms built on lies. You are a threat to false power. You carry something so potent, so divinely backed, that rallying everyone available to stand against you was necessary. And it still did not work. Every hex bounced back. Every ritual backfired. Every curse returned to sender. Because you cannot manipulate what heaven has already ordained. You cannot bind someone who is protected by forces greater than anything accessible through dark practices. Time was wasted. Energy was wasted. Connections were made with entities that are now demanding payment for services that produced zero results. Traps exist in agreements made in desperation. And the same spiritual warfare waged against you is now consuming from the inside out. The struggles you faced, the obstacles that seemed impossible, the delays that frustrated you, those were not evidence of curses working. Those were you being prepared. Every attack made you stronger. Every spiritual battle increased your awareness. Every attempt to break you actually forged you into something unbreakable. Your enemies trained their own destruction. Your enemies sharpened the very weapon that is now cutting through schemes. And the realization is just dawning. as that lawyer explains how thoroughly the game has been lost. Back to that office. The lawyer is asking questions now. Where did this money go? Who authorized these transfers? Documentation for these withdrawals needs to be provided, and the person sitting there is sweating, because what is coming is known. Audits, investigations, forensic accountants going through every transaction with professional precision, and when you steal systematically over time, you leave a trail, a big obvious undeniable trail. The belief was that cleverness existed. The belief was that mixing personal expenses with legitimate caregiver costs would hide the theft. The belief was that no one would ever check. The belief was that once your grandparents passed, the accounts would just be closed and distributed, and no one would ask uncomfortable questions. Every single belief was wrong, because your grandparents set up triggers. Your grandparents made sure that upon their death, certain reviews would be mandatory. Your grandparents ensured that professionals who actually know how to spot financial abuse would examine everything, and those professionals are finding everything. Business startups funded with unauthorized transfers, property purchases made with money that belonged to someone else, investments that came from accounts with no right of access. The lifestyle being lived is about to be calculated down to the penny, and return of all of it is required. Every single cent, plus interest, plus penalties, plus whatever legal fees pile up from fighting a losing battle. But here is where divine orchestration gets beautiful. Every dollar that must be returned flows directly to you. The life savings that were stolen, the investments that were made with your grandparents' money, the appreciation on property bought with funds that should have been protected, all of it comes back, and it comes back to one place. The person your grandparents actually chose, the one who was always meant to receive this inheritance, the chosen one who is about to experience a financial transformation that repositions everything. If you felt the truth in these words, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can see it. The person in that office presented documents that good money was paid for. Shady channels were used to get signatures forged. People were found who claimed ability to make paperwork look authentic enough to pass any inspection. Confidence existed. Every angle seemed covered. Certainty was absolute. The lawyer took one look and saw problems. The handwriting analysis did not match. The notary seal was suspicious. The witness signatures belonged to people who had no legal standing to witness this type of document. The dates conflicted with medical records showing your grandparents' cognitive state. Every layer of this forgery fell apart under basic professional review. This was not even sophisticated fraud. This was sloppy, desperate, obvious fraud committed by people who underestimated how thoroughly truth exposes lies, and while fake paperwork was being dismantled, the real will was being authenticated. The one your grandparents filed legally, the one with proper witnesses and legitimate notarization and clear documentation of sound mind and body at the time of signing. The one that makes you the primary beneficiary of everything built over a lifetime. Life savings, property, investments, assets, all designated for one person who your grandparents knew would honor their legacy and use it correctly. The lawyer explaining all this is watching someone's world collapse in real time, and nothing can be done, no argument can be made, no excuse will fly. No manipulation will change what is legally documented and properly filed. The trap has sprung. The scheme has failed. The truth is standing in fluorescent office lighting for everyone to see. And chosen one, while minds are being lost, you are about to gain everything your grandparents protected for you. Here is what happens next. That person leaves the office in shock. Calls are made to the others who were in on this, the siblings, the cousins, the family members who all counted on this working. And when the news is delivered that everything fell apart, that the fraud was exposed, that consequences are about to face everyone, watch how fast that unified front crumbles. Conspiracies only work when everyone is winning. The second consequences arrive, it becomes every person for themselves. The finger-pointing starts immediately. Whose idea was this? Who said the forged documents would work? Who had access to the accounts? Who took what? Who is responsible for what part of the scheme? The unity that existed in darkness evaporates the moment light exposes everything, and it gets messier. Because this is not just about the inheritance fraud. These people have other things to hide. Businesses built on questionable foundations, tax issues that have been avoided, other legal problems believed to be buried. When investigators start looking into this family, when forensic accountants start following money, everything will be found. This inheritance case is the thread that unravels the entire deception over time. Some will try to cooperate with authorities to reduce personal liability. Some will throw others under the bus. Some will claim pressure or manipulation or lack of understanding about what was happening. The family that worked together to exploit your grandparents is about to cannibalize itself, trying to escape the consequences. And chosen one, you get to watch from a distance as divine justice handles what you never had to fight yourself. The battle was won before you even knew a war existed. Let me show you the brilliance of what your grandparents did. Your grandparents did not just react to being mistreated. Your grandparents did not just get angry about being stolen from. Your grandparents strategized. Your grandparents planned. Your grandparents set up a scenario where the truth would expose itself at exactly the right time. Your grandparents played chess while everyone else was playing checkers. And your grandparents did it because something profound about you was understood. Your grandparents saw that you needed time to grow, time to mature spiritually, time to develop the wisdom and discernment required to handle significant resources. Your grandparents knew that if this inheritance came to you before you were ready, it might distract you from becoming who you needed to become. So everything was timed perfectly. Your grandparents made sure the fraud would be exposed when you were strong enough, aware enough, prepared enough to receive what had been protected. Your grandparents recognized something in you that others missed. Your grandparents saw past your youth or your struggles or whatever limited view others had. Your grandparents saw your calling. Your grandparents saw your light. Your grandparents saw that you were part of a lineage of chosen ones that runs through your bloodline. Your grandparents understood that you were meant to take what was started and multiply it, not for selfish purposes, but for service, for healing, for helping others who have been overlooked and abused and exploited just like your grandparents were. And from the other side, your grandparents are still with you. A choice was made to stay close, to be part of your spiritual team, to guide and protect and celebrate every victory you achieve. Your grandparents are watching this unfold right now. Your grandparents are watching plans work perfectly. Your grandparents are watching you step into an inheritance that is about to transform not just your life, but the lives of everyone you are meant to touch. And your grandparents are proud, so incredibly proud of who you have become and who you are becoming. Now comes the uncomfortable part for the thieves. That lawyer is going to ask about specific items, the watch, the pearls, the family heirlooms that were documented as being in the home, and the person who took them is going to have to produce them or compensate for their value. And these are not cheap items. These are pieces with real worth, sentimental value that translates to significant financial value. Some of these items were sold already, pawned for cash to fund lifestyles, given away, lost. It does not matter. No right to take them existed in the first place. And now accounting for every piece is required. The watch worn for decades, the jewelry passed down through generations, everything that walked out that door while caregiving was supposed to be happening, is now a line item in a legal claim that cannot be escaped. And this is where satisfaction arrives. Because these heirlooms are not just going to be replaced with cash equivalents. The investigation into where things went might uncover other crimes, selling stolen property, fraud in misrepresenting ownership, tax evasion if income from selling items that belonged to someone else was not reported. One theft leads to another discovery, leads to another exposure. The web keeps expanding. The consequences keep multiplying. Chosen one. Some of these items might even be recovered, might be returned to you as part of the estate settlement. Think of holding the watch your grandparent wore every day, the one that was stolen and sold and is now coming back to you. The weight of that moment, the connection to your lineage, the tangible proof that what was taken from those who loved you is being restored to the one chosen. That is not just justice, That is poetry. Let me be clear about what you are receiving. This is not small money. Your grandparents were strategic savers and wise investors. Modest living occurred so substantial building could happen. What was accumulated over decades of discipline and sacrifice is about to be released to you, and it is more than you think. More than was probably ever revealed to anyone, because protection was necessary from exactly the kind of people who are now losing their minds in legal offices. This inheritance is house buying money, business starting money, never worrying about basic needs again money. But more than that, it is calling funding money. Your grandparents did not save this so you could just be comfortable. Your grandparents saved it so you could be dangerous. Dangerous to systems of abuse, dangerous to injustice, dangerous to the darkness that has been trying to keep you limited. Equipment has been provided to fulfill a mission that requires resources. For some of you, that mission involves creating programs for the elderly, protecting vulnerable people from the exact kind of exploitation your grandparents endured. For others, it is funding creative work that heals, building ministries that serve, starting foundations that address needs others ignore. Whatever your specific calling is, these resources are meant to launch it. Your grandparents saw your heart for service, your grandparents recognized your compassion, and your grandparents made sure you would have the means to operate in your full potential. This is generational wealth with spiritual purpose. This is resources meeting readiness. This is provision aligning with divine timing. And chosen one, when this money hits your account, when the property is deeded, when the assets are transferred, you are not just receiving an inheritance, you are receiving a commission, a mandate from your grandparents to do what could not be done before, to help who could not be helped before, to build what could not be built before. You are carrying their legacy forward in a way that multiplies their impact exponentially. Consequences are not negotiable. The best lawyers can be hired. Every legal maneuver can be attempted. Assets can be hidden, or bankruptcy can be declared, or fleeing to another state can happen. None of it will work, because fraud has teeth, and the justice system, when it finally catches up to systematic financial abuse of the elderly, does not play. Return of every penny stolen is required. Liquidation of assets to pay what is owed must happen. That business started with your grandparents' money might have to be sold. That property bought might have to go. That lifestyle being flaunted is about to collapse completely. And these debts cannot be discharged in bankruptcy, because fraud-based debts survive bankruptcy proceedings. Being stuck with consequences that were created and cannot be escaped is the reality. But it is not just financial. Reputations are about to be destroyed. When word gets out about what was done, when people understand that abuse and theft of elderly family members occurred, the social consequences will be severe. Professional relationships will end. Community standing will evaporate. People will look differently at these individuals. People will speak differently to these individuals. Trust will never be given again. Public exposure of character is about to be experienced. And spiritually, the worst position of all exists. Those entities that deals were made with to try to curse you are still expecting payment. The darkness that was embraced does not just let you walk away when things do not work out. Being trapped in spiritual agreements that are now consuming from the inside is the reality. The very forces believed to give power are now extracting a cost that was never calculated. Selling out for nothing and losing everything in the process is what happened. The beauty of divine justice is that you never had to lift a finger in revenge. You never had to plot retaliation. You never had to scheme about how to expose what was happening. You simply had to keep walking your path, keep developing your character, keep growing spiritually, keep becoming who you were meant to be. And while you were doing that inner work, your grandparents already had everything handled on the legal front. The traps were already set. The evidence was already compiled. The protection was already in place. All you had to do was be ready to receive when the time came. And that office where everything is unraveling for those who committed fraud is the same office where victory is being handed to you on a silver platter. You did not have to fight for it in court yourself. You did not have to hire investigators. You did not have to become consumed with proving your case. Your grandparents did all of that work before they even passed away. Your grandparents made sure that when their time came to transition, everything was already so airtight that no amount of manipulation could undo it. That is the level of love and foresight operating on your behalf. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random, and if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in, so let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. The beauty is you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired, while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today, and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Think about the irony of the fraudsters' situation. These people spent so much energy trying to keep you down spiritually, so much time performing rituals and making dark agreements, so much effort coordinating their schemes and protecting each other's crimes. And in the end, none of it mattered. Because while your grandparents were alive, legal documents were being executed that would override every single attempt to steal what was meant for you. The spiritual warfare was always a distraction. The real battle was already won in that lawyer's office before the fraudsters even knew a war was happening. Now think of the conversations happening right now among those family members. The panic, the blame, the accusations flying back and forth, the desperate attempts to figure out how to minimize damage, the realization that everything they thought was secure is actually crumbling, the understanding that not only are they not getting what they expected, but they are also going to have to give back what they already took. That is a special kind of devastation, the kind that comes from building your entire future on a foundation of lies, only to watch that foundation dissolve beneath you. And chosen one, you need to understand something crucial about the timing of all this. The reason the fraud is being exposed now, the reason you are receiving this inheritance now, is because you are finally ready for it. Not ready in the sense that you have achieved some perfect state, but ready in the sense that you have matured enough to handle the responsibility. You have grown enough to not let it corrupt you. You have developed enough wisdom to steward it properly. Your grandparents were waiting for this version of you, the version that has been through enough to appreciate what is being given and strong enough to use it correctly. This is going to hurt for a moment, so brace yourself. Some of the people involved in this conspiracy against you are people you actually liked. Maybe a cousin who always seemed fun. Maybe a relative who was nice to you at family gatherings. Maybe someone who you thought was different from the others. But involvement occurred. Knowledge of what was happening to your grandparents existed. Participation in the theft occurred. Presence at those dark rituals targeting you happened, and silence was maintained. When the full scope of this exposure happens, when you see the list of everyone who was involved, names will shock you. Names will hurt. People you would have defended if someone had told you about their actions against you. But chosen one, this revelation is necessary. You cannot build your future on relationships with people who were secretly destroying your foundation. You cannot carry forward in purpose while staying connected to those who are actively working to prevent your progress. Some will reach out when the realization hits that the inheritance is yours. Sudden remembrance of how much you are cared about will occur. Emergencies that need financial help will arise. Appeals to your compassion will be made. Reminders of good memories will come. Attempts to make you feel guilty for receiving what was always meant for you will happen, and you need to be ready to see through it. Ready to recognize manipulation even when it comes from familiar faces. Ready to protect what your grandparents protected from people who proved inability to be trusted. The exposure is a gift. It shows you who people really are when masks fall off. It reveals character under pressure. It demonstrates who operates in integrity and who does not. And while it might feel like loss initially, It is actually clearing space in your life for relationships built on truth instead of tolerance, for connections based on genuine love instead of fake family obligations, for a circle that celebrates your victories instead of secretly working to prevent them. Back to that office where someone is losing their mind, where fraud is being exposed, where paperwork that should have enriched thieves is instead revealing crimes, where your name is being announced as the sole heir to everything your grandparents built. This is the moment where everything changes, not just for you, not just for them, but for everyone watching this divine justice play out in real time. But let me keep you in that office a little longer, because details here matter. Details that show you exactly how calculated your grandparents were. That lawyer sitting across from the family member who thought victory was assured is not just rejecting documents randomly. Explanation is being given about exactly why each piece of the fraud fails. The notary whose seal appears on the fake will moved out of state before the date on the document. The witnesses who supposedly watched your grandparents sign were verifiably somewhere else. One was at a funeral across the country that same day. The other had already passed away. Your family member is watching each excuse evaporate, each explanation crumble, each layer of carefully constructed lies get peeled back to reveal the rot underneath, and the lawyer is taking notes, because this is not just an estate dispute anymore. This is evidence of criminal activity. This is the kind of fraud that gets reported to authorities. This is the moment when civil matters become criminal investigations, and chosen one, your relative sitting in that chair, knows it. You can see it in eyes that keep glancing at the door, in stories that keep changing, in calculations already happening about who to blame when everything comes crashing down. The lawyer pulls out another folder. This one contains the real will, the one your grandparents executed properly. And there is something else in that folder. Letters, written in your grandparents' own hand, explaining exactly why decisions were made the way they were, detailing the treatment received from certain family members, describing items that went missing from the home, listing unauthorized financial transactions that were noticed but could not be stopped because bullying occurred around signing over power of attorney under false pretenses. Your grandparents documented everything. A paper trail was created that reads like a prosecution's dream case. Your grandparents had these documents witnessed by people outside the family. The doctor signed affidavits about mental state. The banker provided statements about unusual account activity. Neighbors gave testimony about who came and went from the house and what was observed. Your grandparents built a fortress of evidence around the truth, making it impossible for anyone to claim confusion or diminished capacity or lack of understanding became the goal. Proof beyond any doubt that knowledge existed about exactly what was happening and exactly who was wanted to receive the legacy was established. The family member in that office is now being presented with a choice: cooperate with the investigation, provide information about where the stolen items went, return what can be returned, make restitution for what cannot, or face the full weight of prosecution with no mercy and no plea deals. And chosen one, watch how pride wars with survival instinct. Watch how someone who walked in arrogant is now calculating whether co-conspirators will throw them under the bus if they do not throw them first. Watch how greed that united is now the very thing that will tear apart. But there is another dimension to this office scene that is equally important. The lawyer handling this case did not choose this work by accident. Specialization in elder abuse cases exists. This pattern has been seen before. The signs of financial exploitation are recognized. How predators operate within families is understood, and it is taken personally. This is not just a job. This is a mission. Too many elderly people getting victimized by the very family members who should have protected them has been witnessed. Too many estates stolen by people who contributed nothing but showed up expecting everything has been seen, and zero tolerance exists for it. So when your family member tries to negotiate, tries to minimize, tries to suggest this is all a misunderstanding, the lawyer shuts it down immediately. There is no misunderstanding. There is fraud, there is theft, there is abuse, and there will be consequences, full consequences, the kind that show up in public records, the kind that affect professional licenses, The kind that make it hard to get loans or pass background checks or maintain certain business relationships. The kind that follow you for the rest of your life. Your grandparents chose this lawyer specifically. Research was done. Someone was found who would fight for their wishes even after passing. Someone who would not be intimidated by family drama or manipulation tactics. Someone who understood that estate planning is about more than just distributing assets. It is about ensuring that the people you love are protected, and the people who harmed you are held accountable. And this lawyer is executing that plan flawlessly. Let me show you what happens when you find out the inheritance is yours. Because this is not information that comes all at once. First, you might get a call from the lawyer's office, asking you to come in for a meeting. Formality exists in the communication. Professionalism. Not much is revealed over the phone, because estate matters are confidential until proper procedures are followed. So you show up to this office, not entirely sure what to expect. Maybe you know your grandparents passed away. Maybe you have been kept out of the loop about what happened after. Maybe you have been wondering why no one has contacted you. The lawyer sits you down and starts explaining the situation. Your grandparents left a will, a legitimate, properly executed will, and you are the primary beneficiary. But there has been a complication. Someone else in the family submitted fraudulent paperwork trying to claim the estate. And now there is going to be an investigation. Legal proceedings. Probably some family drama. Are you prepared for that? Are you ready to stand firm even when relatives start calling with sob stories and accusations? Because this inheritance comes with a fight you did not ask for, but will have to be willing to endure. And chosen one. This is the moment when you realize just how much your grandparents loved you. Because division of everything equally among multiple people to avoid conflict could have happened. The easy path could have been taken. But it was not. A clear choice was made. Your name was put on everything, knowing full well it would cause an uproar. Knowing the greedy ones would be furious. Knowing there would be attempts to overturn it. And it was done anyway because belief in you was stronger than fear of conflict. Trust in you was stronger than desire for false peace with people who never treated your grandparents with genuine love anyway. This is your moment. This is your vindication. This is your commissioning. Not to be comfortable, but to be dangerous. Dangerous to every system of abuse and exploitation and darkness that operates in shadows. Equipped, resourced, backed by generational love and divine justice. Ready to write the next chapter of a legacy that your grandparents started and trusted you to continue. The office where minds were lost is the same office where your inheritance was secured, and that is exactly how your grandparents planned it. The end of their scheme, the beginning of your destiny. Divine justice served perfectly, and you standing ready to receive everything that was always meant to